On today's episode of the Fumblerooski podcast, shit's happening, man. Shit is happening. That's all. What a Monday. What a Monday. AJ Brown's to the Patriots. Myles Garrett goes to the Rams. OBJ's back with the Giants. All that and more. This is the Fumblerooski podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns.
Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome to the Fumblerooski podcast by Secret Weapon Consulting. We got CJ, we got myself, Chris, for you today. No Tuck. Unfortunately, no Adam. Again. No surprise. We'll see him back for football season. We'll see.
Probably.
Boy, what a June 1st. What a day of football. Not even on the field. Off season. Golly. Obviously, Myles Garrett and AJ Brown got traded. OBJ's back with the Giants. We got some other news as well. Russell Wilson set to join the CBS crew. We're also going to get into our top 5 NFL cornerbacks going into the 2026 season, as well as a AFC North preview. And really, unfortunately, we don't have Tuck for this one, of course, because it's the North. The North. But let's get into it. We'll start with, well, realistically, if we were going to start with what happened first, it'd be Josh Jacobs getting in trouble. We'll get into that momentarily, but
Different.
Or it would be Russell Wilson set to join the CBS crew, or OBJ being set to come back to the Giants. But this was the real big trade, the biggest trade, I would say, of the day.
Well, yeah, it was totally unexpected.
Yeah, because AJ Brown to the Patriots, that everyone and their mother knew that was going to happen. It was a matter of when, and well, it just so happened right at June 1st, basically the day that the Eagles don't eat $1 billion in cap space. So Myles Garrett traded to the Rams. This is about noon or so Monday, but the deal includes Jared Verse and multiple draft picks going to the Browns. First round pick for next year, second round pick in 28, and a third rounder in 29. According to Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Adam Schefter in this article on ESPN. And what is one of the biggest trades in NFL history involving a defensive player, especially one of Myles Garrett's caliber, 2-time defensive player of the year. Well, looking at the Brown side of things first, yeah, you traded Myles Garrett. But in return, you got a guy in Jared Verse, who's a very young guy who won Defensive Rookie of the Year, could potentially have the potential to be a Defensive Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. And you got a ton of draft picks out of it, especially including a first rounder for next season. And a second rounder for 2 years from now. So, and obviously Browns rebuild mode, yada, yada. So I think this ultimately ends up being a pretty good move for the Browns. Good move for both sides, really. Good move for both sides, because the Rams are in win now mode. And I think that this trade for them turns them into Super Bowl favorites, essentially. I'll go as far as.
Yeah, I truly believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the Los Angeles Rams should be the odds-on favorite for the Super Bowl, and I would argue they should be a heavy favorite. I know their division is also home to the reigning champ Seattle Seahawks, but I will tell you, Myles Garrett, and it's not just that. They added Myles Garrett to the defense and Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. So you got Stafford, I think he'll be fine. You got Stafford, Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams. I think the offensive line should be fine as well. And defense is already pretty good, but now you've added 2 superstars, Trent McDuffie and Myles Garrett. How are they not the favorites?
Yeah.
And you pair it with the dangerous Sean McVay, who calls all the plays, I believe. So honestly, yeah, I think he'll be just fine. Or actually, we might not call the defensive plays, but I think he calls the offensive ones.
Yeah.
So this came out of left field. I mean, I knew, look, I'll be honest, okay, guys. I knew that there was some rumblings. This was a fact of which I was acutely aware. All right. But this has happened every year for like the past 3 years. Myles Garrett's unhappy. Now he's not. You see it and you're just like, nothing ever happens, especially now with a guy like that. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, surprise, he's getting traded. And the Browns are getting Jared Verse, a first, second, and a third. Staggered across multiple years, granted. But I'm awestruck, really. I mean, hey, they got rid of another first. You know how Les Snead feels about the picks. Fuck them picks.
Yeah.
That's his quote.
Yep.
So I am just saying, though, Chris, that they have to be the favorites. They just have to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I remember I was talking to my dad about this, right? And I actually we called when I was leaving the gym today, and I said, "Hey, this is happening. That's crazy, isn't it?" And my stepmom is a Browns fan. Well, half Browns, half Pats, because my dad and I are Pats fans. And I said, "Oh, hey, tell her, just be, bring it to her gently." And my dad's like, "Oh no, she wants him to be traded because she wants him to succeed like somewhere else." And I totally get it. That's the mark of a real fan.
Yeah.
There are a few Browns fans that I've seen online that are saying like that they're actually happy because they want to see him go succeed somewhere else, similar to when in another Rams trade, when the Lions traded Matt Stafford to the Rams because they wanted to win a ring, or they wanted to hit a ring. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's like, especially when you got a guy that's just kind of just wasting away on a shit team, especially all this time. I mean, like Browns fans know where they are right now, and that's rebuild mode. And where Myles Garrett is in his career, he certainly does not have time for a rebuild right now. So definitely a good move on all parts. I'd say the biggest loser, if there is a loser, is Jared Verse, because he's going to the Browns from the Rams. But so Browns were initially adamant that they had no interest in trading Garrett, even told that to the Rams, according to sources. The Rams refused to give up what one source called their persistent pursuit of Garrett. LA continued calling and calling. The only team that tried to pry loose a player the Browns once deemed untouchable. And the Browns essentially told the Rams that no deal would get done without including Jared Verse.
Fair.
12 sacks, 22 TFLs last 2 seasons. So, yeah, to just go on with the shock of it all. Myles Garrett, since being drafted in 2017, first in sacks, first in QB pressures, second in QB hits, first in TFLs, third in forced fumbles. Boy.
Fair.
The Rams are going to be fucking gross. Golly.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Garrett deserved everything for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. Oh,
and Verse is good. He should be a good young guy for Cleveland. It's once, like you said, clearly in a rebuild. So all sides, I think this is good for all sides. Cleveland gets to rebuild and the Rams go all in on this year. They're clearly in win now mode.
Yeah. Let me look at what these contracts look like now, or are looking like. So, that's right. Jared Verse currently has, let me me just go to him. Jared Verse currently has 2 more years on his deal. Could be a third with a club option for the Browns. So he'd be a free agent by 29. So, and this is still on his rookie contract right now. In terms of Myles Garrett, I'm just getting to his part here. Myles Garrett, free agent in 2031 when he's 36. Oh, never mind. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So it's massive. Yeah. Average salary of 40,000. Cap hit does get larger and larger as you go on. All right.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. AJ Brown, trade to the Patriots for a first-round pick in 2028, along with a 5th-round pick as well, which shit, dude. This was maybe best case scenario in terms of a deal for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Like only giving up 2 picks, which I mean, if you look at the 28 season and where the Patriots are and how they're looking right now, that's probably going to end up being a late round pick. And the Patriots finally get their wide receiver 1. This is pretty absurd that the Pats didn't have to give up any sort of physical value in terms of a player. Like Kayshon Boutte was a name that was thrown around a lot of a guy that was potentially going to be on the move. So,
yeah, even some of the more bold Eagles fans, shall we say, wanted to do a straight up AJ Brown for Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Which I knew that wasn't going to happen, but
Yeah. So the offense now looks like Drake May, Mondre, and Trevion, AJ Brown, Romeo Doubs, Kayshon Boutte as your top 3.
And Hunter Henry at tight end.
Yeah.
And 3rd-round pick Eli Raridon as well. Let's give him some love.
Yeah. And with the improvements made on defense and the improvements made on the offensive line, oh my goodness.
I was saying, like, you look at the offensive line, right? Will Campbell is now 100% healthy after playing injured the entire playoffs. They got Elijah Vera Tucker at guard. You had Jared Wilson, who's moving to center, his natural position. You also have Onwenu and Morgan Moses, who never really had any problems. You still have Harold Landry. You have Draymond Jones now. You still have Williams and Barmore. Hey, Robert Spillane at linebacker. That's great. You know, Jack Gibbons, Christian Ellis. Wish they would have done more, but they did get KJ Britt. And Kevin Byard in the secondary to pair up with second-year man Craig Woodson and that dangerous corner trio of Christian Gonzalez, Carlton Davis, and Marcus Jones. They theoretically, even though they have one of the tougher schedules in the league, they should be fine. But if you're in New England, the only thing that's going to hurt you now is Super Bowl hangover, which, hey, we all know, very real.
Yeah. It's real. It's definitely real. But at the same time, too, like I feel like enough carryover where like you may have just gotten rid of the Super Bowl hangover just from the roster turnover, which it's not a massive roster turnover, but like, when you think of a Super Bowl hangover, it's usually like a team that ends up being like, all right, let's run it back. Like you basically retain the same guys.
Either that or they get picked clean.
Yeah. Which like, obviously that didn't happen to the Patriots because they
lost a few people, but they were all mostly replaced.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. So and of course this has been like the ongoing. I just can't believe it finally actually happened now. Like June.
And yeah, no, I'm shocked. I didn't think it was going to happen today. I thought there was going to be this big cat and mouse game where it was going to drag into the summer. And I'll give slippery Howie Roseman a lot of credit. I don't know if you heard, but the Chiefs and the Jags were sniffing around, and there was like a legitimate concern that at least the Jags were going to swoop in. Because the thing is, we all know the rules when it comes to GMing. When you deal with Howie Roseman, you get fleeced. And we all know like the signature Howie Roseman fleece. But this time, am I crazy to say that it didn't happen? He didn't get his usual fleece? Because for once, he really didn't have leverage. AJ Brown wants out. He doesn't want to play for you anymore. You've pissed him off to no end because you can't figure out a consistent offense year to year. And your former idiot offensive coordinator was, I'm sure you remember, like running his mouth to the media, behind closed doors to smear AJ Brown every chance he got. So, Kevin Patullo was his name. So, yeah, you didn't have any leverage. And New England said, you're not even getting a 2027 first-round pick. Nah, you're getting 28. And I'm happy because I know I'm the draft guy when I say, hey, we got to wait. But this upcoming 2027 draft class is going to be loaded with talent. Like every position is deep, like on both sides of the ball. Well, that's how it is so far. Last year was supposed to be, and it kind of wasn't.
Yeah.
But the Patriots, they finally get it. And let me just say, as a fan, finally, it happened. And I know we, mostly me, like to say, well, nothing ever happens, especially when it comes to New England and wide receivers. But finally, at long last, because whether it's through trades or free agency, the Patriots have gotten the nickname, the interest kings, because they always are interested in wide receivers, but you and I can admit they've never been able to seal the deal. They're always runner-up. They're always the bridesmaid, never the bride, and I was expecting this to be more of the same. When I saw that the Jags could likely swipe A.J. Brown, I'm like, oh, of course, give Howie Roseman credit. He's starting a bidding war. But no, his plan failed. And think about it, right? There were rumors New England could trade for Megatron as he got older. They also said that about Larry Fitzgerald. They said that about Odell Beckham, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, and among others. And there's also thoughts about in free agency with guys like Chris Godwin, Alec Pierce, Calvin Ridley, who all the times kept turning down big offers from New England, take less money to play elsewhere. And so it got to the point where you're just like, all right, I guess, they keep swinging and missing. So, as a fan, you kind of expect, okay, this is going to be the same. But no, it happened. Like, they have a real, legitimate, non-question mark wide receiver one. I mean, you could say Diggs was a one, but he was a huge question mark. But now it's like a real one. Oh, my God. I didn't know that was legal in the state of Massachusetts.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing, especially because this has been an ongoing storyline for like a year, since last year, basically since Mike Vrabel took the job. You could probably even say like maybe 2024 too, even though, the Pats were dick. And, but like AJ Brown is having some issues over there as well. And, one of the big things too is that AJ Brown wanted to be a Patriot. He was a Patriots fan growing up. He wanted to get drafted by the Patriots, cried when the Patriots didn't draft him.
Mm-hmm. Because Belichick and Brady just had to have N'Keal Harry for the character pick, even though the entire front office looked at them and said, no, AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Although, low-key, that might have been more Brady, because I know Belichick liked him for the character thing, but apparently Brady had some say, allegedly.
Yeah. Oh,
I wanted AJ Brown, though.
Yeah.
Or Metcalf at the time, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And it was more so like, oh, let's get him. And like, you're not really that serious. You're serious, but you're not really that serious. And all of a sudden, Mike Vrabel gets hired, and it's like, oh, this could be a thing. And because obviously Mike Vrabel coached AJ Brown at the Titans. So it was sort of a thing through the summer. And then it really picked up when AJ Brown and just the offense in general struggled. And a lot of people thought it was going to happen at the deadline. Obviously, it didn't. And that's when the whole issue with his contract came up. So the Eagles are now essentially saving 20 mil in total for this year and next year because that was the big thing was like if they're going to get a deal done, it's not going to be before June 1st. They're getting it done June 1st post. And in doing so, excuse me, Eagles can now split Browns' $40 million salary cap charge between this year and next year.
All right.
So it's good for both sides. And, this was, all the reports from the last, basically since the Super Bowl to like, you essentially had the monthly AJ Brown report, which was like, it's likely going to get done. And then it turns into, it's more than likely that it's going to get done. And then you have this week-long charade of insider reports and all that, which not a lot of them came true. I'd say half of them came true in terms of the fact that it ended up being a first-round pick, and AJ Brown is now on the Patriots. So here we are now. Patriots will now have to pay off the rest of his contract, of course, which is not a massive deal. It's only I'm just trying to find the number right now. I just had it. Patriots inherit Brown's contract, which runs through the 2029 season, averages $32 million per season, which is the seventh highest in the NFL among receivers. In a quote that Howie Roseman said on Monday, I think that when we looked at the totality of the circumstances and having the conversations we had with him, felt like where we were going, where he was, that if we could find something that kind of achieved our goals of getting a first-round pick going forward here in the near future, getting the money back to spend on other players on our team and with other teams, and it was a win-win situation based on where he was and how he felt, we were open to that. So, I mean, this is probably one of the rare cases where everybody's happy at the end.
Yeah, honestly.
Obviously, that could change in December, but since entering the league as a second-round selection to the Titans in 2019, Brown is fourth in the NFL in both receiving yards and touchdowns. Brown and Jamar Chase are the NFL's only two players with at least 1,000 receiving yards and 7+ touchdown catches in each of the past 4 seasons. And A.J. Brown, including the playoffs, is one of 7 players in NFL history with at least 8,500 receiving yards and 60 touchdown catches in his first 7 seasons. My goodness, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. I was at work when the news broke, and I was just like, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. You got to be kidding me. So awesome. All right. Ready to move on, or you got anything else?
I'm fine. I'm ready to move on.
All right. Josh Jacobs. Well, this was basically right after the day we posted the last episode, and boy, professional sports, just the comedic timing of professional sports, I think, gets overlooked a lot. Just sports in general, especially when, you have the Jackson Dart and Abdul Carter stuff going on. And we talked about the former Chargers lineman. What was his name again? I'm blanking right now.
Say that again.
Chargers lineman we talked about last week had a lot to say about Jackson Dart, Abdul Carter.
Oh, the Chargers lineman, I forgot. Yeah.
Brendan something, I think.
Yeah.
But he had a lot to say about that, and he jumped up. What?
Fehoko?
Yeah, I think it's Brendan Fehoko.
Braden Fehoko, yeah.
Yeah. He jumped on the Josh Jacobs thing almost immediately. Of course, the legal trouble Josh Jacobs is in is alleged. I should have had the Josh Jacobs thing up, but let me just double check it. Domestic violence is the main thing, of course. Arrested for it. He was so this is where it's like weird. So it's an alleged thing. Jacobs was arrested on Tuesday following an investigation and was booked on 5 domestic abuse related charges. The weird thing about this is that like this is like he got allegedly arrested like 2 days after the fact that it happened. So that's where like it gets a little odd. But yeah, this could be very interesting to say the least. Maybe something to look out for during the offseason because not a good look, especially for the Packers.
Yeah. Do you remember what I said last episode? We talked about Jackson Dart.
You're gonna have to remind me, but it was probably something.
I basically said people were so upset at him for what he did, and people were so upset about Mike Vrabel for what he did. I said, but no one's talking about that Chiefs DB coach who was like abusing his daughter.
Yeah.
And to this day, we're still hearing about the fallout of, Abdul Carter, he's standing up to Jackson Dart and whatever. This is what you like to see. And it's just like Josh Jacobs like beat up and strangled his girlfriend.
Allegedly.
And could very well, if the charges stick, be put in prison. And we're just like, oh, yeah, no, that's just, that's whatever, man. It's what, like, really, like, once again, I feel like our anger is getting misplaced here.
Yeah.
If the Packers had any guts, which I know they don't, they would put them, I don't know, on like some like internal suspension until this whole thing gets figured out. But, it's like, oh, yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand how this isn't even just athletes or NFL players, but celebrities in general. You got all this money, you have all this fame. You get to play a game for a living. Some of you get to sing for a living, And then you're just like, yes, I'm going to abuse and assault my friends and family. Like, why? I don't get it. I don't. Oh, well.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'd be pretty much just repeating the same points as I was making last week, but like it is ridiculous that like you get the whole Jackson Dart, like perfect example of what our guy from the Chargers was talking about, and it comes into fruition like days after the Jackson Dart thing happened. Yeah. So it's just what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Obviously, like if he ends up being innocent, then like that's one thing. But right now, it's alleged. It's an ongoing case. I'm not gonna be the one to sit here and tell you that Josh Jacobs beat up his girlfriend or whoever it was. But the charges aren't pretty. 2 felony counts of strangulation and suffocation assault, along with 4 misdemeanor counts of battery, assault, disorderly conduct, and criminal damage to property. It's not good.
You know what? It's bad. It's really bad. And, we're not focusing on this. We got to focus on, what does Jackson Dart think about current affairs? Like, really? We're not going to be outraged at this at all?
Yeah.
You know what the worst part is? we know what's going to happen. We know how this ends. The NFL likes to give a little hush money to whoever accuses their star players, or they probably exert some sort of legal pressure, and that's the end of it. And let me just say, for legal clarity, I don't know that's what happens, but have you ever noticed how many NFL players get away with some ridiculously heinous things? Even many times there's eyewitnesses or they're caught on video doing something heinous, and unless they kill someone, it just gets forgotten. Now, I'm not saying the NFL is paying people off. I'm not saying that they are, pressuring witnesses. I'm just saying it would not shock me. Once again, I'm not accusing them of doing it. So NFL's lawyers, if you see this, you can't give me any sort of cease and desist because I'm not accusing you of it. Womp womp. I'm just saying it is not out of the realm of possibility. And that's in that just gray area where you cannot sue me. I have decided you can't.
Yeah.
But either way, they get away with so much horrible shit, and why? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And then did you see the somewhat related? Did you see are you familiar with Jared McCain?
The player for the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA?
Yes.
Yes, I know of him.
Apparently a reporter asked him about his thoughts on Palestine or something like that. And
What?
like Game 7 of the NBA Finals is Saturday, like, and his response was, seriously, come on, seriously, and like in the middle of like one of the most hateful playoff series man has seen in a little bit. About to be like Game 6, Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals of one of the best series we've seen in a few years, or probably one of the best series of the decade. And they're asking about Palestine. Like, I'm just waiting for someone to ask Jackson Dart after throwing like the game losing interception, like, oh, what do you think of Trump's economic policies this week?
Mm-hmm.
Like, brother.
Look, obviously, this is the United States. We have the First Amendment for a reason. And like, you can say whatever you want. You can believe whatever you want. I'm a firm believer in free speech, but I'm not going to be one of those people that says, oh, athletes have responsibility to speak up. I also won't be one of those, shut up and play the game. But what I will tell you is there's a time and a place. Like, if you're a reporter and you ask about a political issue during a game, especially like Game 7, right, in the NBA Finals, well, like, imagine, like, after losing the Super Bowl, Drake May was asked, oh, where do you stand on the United States immigration policy? If you're an athlete, I believe you have every right to curse out that reporter and say, why the fuck are you asking me this?
Yeah.
Like apples and oranges.
Yeah. 100%. Ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready to move on. I mean, I didn't want to go too crazy there, but
yeah,
there's just, I mean, I'm not saying anyone should or shouldn't say anything. I'm just saying there's a time and a place. And for a reporter, you got to know better. It's like, why would you ask that for Game 7? Like, that's so random.
Yeah. Maybe it was Game 6, but either way, the point still being like, what the fuck? OBJ signing with the Giants. Team announced on Monday. Giants were deliberate throughout the process of potentially signing the 33-year-old wide receiver as a free agent. Giants coach John Harbaugh has a history with Beckham from the 2023 season in Baltimore, maintained a good relationship. Had 35 catches, 465 yards, 3 touchdowns that season. Obviously a full circle moment because OBJ was the 12th overall pick in 2014 to the Giants. Off to a record-breaking start, 3 seasons of 1,300 plus yards before injuries and, well, going quote for word from the ESPN article, injuries and controversies derailed his career in New York. 390 catches, 5,476 yards, and 44 touchdowns with the Giants before going over to the Browns. Giants are also signing Braxton Berrios and Juju Smith-Schuster as well. So, bit of a weird Monday for names that if you're a Giants fan. But, yeah.
Yeah. To all three, to Juju, Odell, and Berrios, I say, all right, just, you know what? Just go jump in the tub now. You're washed.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's a feel-good story. But he hasn't played since 2024 when he suited up for the Miami Dolphins. And he appeared in 9 games, didn't start any, got a whopping 9 catches for 55 yards. On 18 targets, I might add.
Yeah.
No touchdowns. No touchdowns, at least not receiving. So, like I said, this is a feel-good thing. I would imagine he'll probably get his number back from Jalen Hyatt. Probably. But overall, I don't know, man. I don't.
No, I agree. No, I agree. I
don't
agree.
know.
I think this
It's
is
a
more.
feel-good story and nothing more.
I think this is more just like, hey, let's get like OBJ, a guy that's been on the Giants, a vet, like that. Because this is, remind you, this is an extremely young team that we're talking about here. Like, we're talking about Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, Malik Neighbors, 3 guys immediately off the rip right there that are in their first 3 years in this league. So you want to have a guy like OBJ to kind of help be like, hey, this is like, show them what it's going to be a New York Giant, like how you navigate the New York market. And just, having a veteran presence never hurts in any sort of locker room. That's for sure. But just looking at the New York Giants depth chart right now in terms of wide receivers. So your top – so this is all the guys that are in front of OBJ, which there's 6 of them. Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, Darnell Mooney, Calvin Austin, Malachi Fields, and Isaiah Hodgins. Juju Smith-Schuster is behind OBJ. And Braxton Berrios is behind Jalen Hyatt and Eric Gray, along with all those other names that I said.
Like I said, moral support. And yeah, like you said, they need a veteran. That's going to be what it is.
I mean, shit, for all we know, like half these guys that I just named off get cut after training camp anyways. So, yeah. Our last bit of general NFL news. Russell Wilson set to join the CBS NFL crew for this upcoming season.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've never been. I mean, I like his game, but I've never really found Russell Wilson that funny or endearing. Like, I know he's a nice dude. Like, I've heard nothing but great things about him off the field. But honestly, just he's always felt like that. How do you do, fellow kids? Meme. He's just so, I don't know. It's all.
Sure, but like I feel like when you think of like some of these NFL like analyst desks, like especially CBS, it's not you're like the personalities are the personalities, but it's not like it like when you look at like the NFL desks, like none of them are like the like inside the NBA desk with all those characters of Shaq, Chuck, and Kenny.
Yeah.
Like you're not expecting that. And so, I mean, yeah, will Russell Wilson show maybe a little bit of personality? Sure. But like, he's there because he has a football mind.
Yeah.
He's there because he was a Super Bowl champion. Also he had a job offer on the table from the Jets to join the team as a backup to Geno Smith. He acknowledged last month to the New York Post that he was considering joining CBS. And well, this was kind of made easier because Matt Ryan took the president of football operations job with the Falcons. And yeah.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I made my feelings known. I mean, I know he's not supposed to be there to be some big personality, but I guess I'll have to see it first.
Yeah, and like who knows? Maybe this is just another case of like, oh, this dude seemed like a stiff and whatnot, but now he's in front of a camera. He's actually a cool guy, type of thing. Like Tom Brady, for example. Like, oh, they got him out of New England, and everybody loved, and now he's showing a little bit of personality and shit like that. Yeah, or like Bill Belichick is starting to do more podcasts, and you're starting to see a little bit more of him. Or shit, the Tom Brady roast. Actually, you saw a little, saw a little bit of that. So, yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. We're going to step aside for a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into our top 5 NFL cornerbacks and our AFC North preview.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
All right, let's get into our top 5 cornerbacks heading into the 2026 season. CJ, would you like to go first?
Sure. I'll be nice.
All right.
Oh, you say sure, like how you type it as a joke.
Yeah.
I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying, like, I think it's funny.
I picked it up.
Like, it's funny. I like that. So here we go. My top 5 corners. My number 5 is reigning Super Bowl champion Devin Witherspoon. And come on, he's a top 5 corner in the league. What else could you say? He's not the flashiest guy, but he's one of the harder hitting corners in the league, I've noticed. And he's that lanky, rangy guy that you absolutely want on your team. That much we can all agree on. That much, I think there's no doubt, right? My number 4, however, this guy's got to start getting more love. I'm sorry. No ifs, ands, or buts. J.C. Horn. I'm a big J.C. Horn fan. He's finally, like after all this time, right? He's finally staying healthy. And now that he actually is, oh my God, the difference is night and day. Probably at his best season yet. You know, he had 5 interceptions, 37 total tackles, which isn't the best, but he also had 8 pass breakups. He's just known to take the ball away, allowed a completion percentage under 50%. He's really, really good. And my number...
Wait, sorry, who was your 4 again?
J.C. Horn.
Okay.
My number 3, rep of the Houston Texans, we got the man himself, Derek Stingley Jr. Got 36 total tackles, 4 picks last year, 15 passes broken up, and a forced fumble. What can I say other than he just puts belt to ass year in, year out. Allowed, I think, like the lowest completion percentage when targeted at 43.3%. Yeah, we did give up 3 touchdowns, but that's okay. We forgive him. But he's a big play guy. You know what I mean? That's the thing. He's a highlight reel guy. And my number 2, call me biased, I don't care. Christian Gonzalez of the New England Patriots. A lot of people would argue that maybe he had a down year because he missed some time. And even still, he didn't necessarily look like his normal self. And I do believe there's a tendency to sleep on him because he didn't have any picks last year. But the thing is, Gonzalez is one of those guys where his impact goes beyond the stat sheet. And if you're a box score watcher, you won't be impressed. But box score watchers' opinions don't exactly mean jack. Frankly, I don't know if they should even vote. I'm joking. But yeah, no, box score watchers are doing horrible things to organize sports, and it's a problem. But the thing with Gonzalez is how he will just erase half the field. He will take your number one receiver and give him Bell. Don't believe me? Now, don't get me wrong. I know the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, but never in my life have I seen Jackson Smith and Jigba get wrapped up like that. Gonzalez completely shut him down. And sure, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, and the score might be deceiving, but honestly, they had to settle for field goals a lot of the time. That was because when Darnold tried to fit it into JSN, Gonzalez was right there. And solely for that performance, that he took arguably the best receiver in the league, or at least the second best, to JSN, and completely locked and completely gave him belt, you got to give him number 2. And my number 1, Patrick Surtain. I mean, come on. Well, Surtain the second, technically. He's another one where the stats don't really do him justice. You know, he only had 1 pick. He had like 47 tackles. But once again, he's kind of like Gonzalez again, where he just erases half of the field. I truly believe, though, that Surtain, Gonzalez, and Stingley are interchangeable. There's like 1A, 1B, 1C. But I do tend to give Surtain and Gonzalez the nod because, like I said, they're not flashy, but they just will erase your number 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine's pretty similar. It's 5. I've kind of been having a tough time with number 5, but I think my 5 gonna be Quinyon.
Oh, of the Eagles.
Huh?
I said, okay, of Eagles fame.
Oh. Okay. Okay. An Eagles fan.
Okay. No, what? Are you deaf?
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, yes, of Eagles fame.
Oh. I thought you said an Eagles fan. I was like, what?
No.
All right. Yeah. You know, I thought Quinyon had a pretty solid year this year. And I mean, when you get rid of with the Eagles, right? Like they almost pretty much got rid of half their secondary last year, and that was a lot. Like you're asking 2 second-year guys in Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell to really step up. The numbers, and I feel like you could have also had Cooper DeJean as being a top 5 guy as well. We had Cooper DeJean as top 5 guy going into last year as well. But I think with Quinyon Mitchell, for me, he just ended up at the thing that was it for me was that he had a better completion percentage when targeted at than Cooper DeJean. The numbers for DeJean were slightly better this year through the regular season, but I feel like you got to give it to Quinyon in that sense. JC Horn's my number 4. Like CJ said, coming off an injury, had a standout season. Really solidified himself as being a top guy. And I mean, shit, one of the bigger reasons why the Panthers made it to the playoffs this year. Derek Stingley's my 3. He's the top corner on the best defense in the league. Like that's enough said, really. Christian Gonzalez, number 2. I mean, just look at the Super Bowl. Look at the way he played in the Super Bowl. He was one of a few guys that really showed up for this fucking game. That's for sure. I mean, whole defense showed up. Offense, no showed, but he was the best player on the field. Outside of the Seahawks. But and number 1, Surtain. Number one is Pat Surtain. I got nothing else to add for that because he is like, what else can you say about a guy that's undoubtedly the best corner in the league?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure if Tuck were here, he would bitch at us for not including Marlon Humphrey. I mean, no offense, we love Tuck, but I don't know, not after last year.
When you're the number one cornerback on a team that was notoriously dick at pass defense, I don't think you deserve to be top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's good. I know he's been banged up, but I want to see him return to form.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. All right. Let's go to the AFC North. Speaking of the Ravens, going to the AFC North. Kind of like last time, just work bottom to top in terms of division standing. So we'll start with the Cleveland Browns. Pretty solid drafts, I thought. I would say most probably thought. Spencer Fano going 9. Pick up some offensive linemen so you can protect your young QBs, whoever it ends up being, or just quarterbacks in general. Casey Concepcion, wide receiver, pick 24. Great pickup. Hell of a pickup right there. I mean, he's gonna easily be potentially the wide receiver 1 if he performs well enough over Jerry Jeudy. But now
Right
it's
now he's probably at least 2.
yeah. Outside of that, I don't really. Or Denzel Boston as well, 2nd round pick. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety, also in the 2nd round. Anything else to add, draft man?
No, I do like their draft. You know, Boston, Fano, Concepcion, EMW. Like, that was one of the better drafts of the league. They hit on all their needs. So I just want to see what they could do. But moving on to the rest of the team. Stop me if you've heard this one before, boys and girls. The Cleveland Browns have a question mark at quarterback. Kind of like they've had it ever since they made the stupid decision to get rid of Baker Mayfield for Diddy Watson. So at this point, the Browns probably aren't going to be that good. And I know I've said this about some of the other bottom feeder teams in the AFC East, but for the Browns, it's not about wins, Maybe it's not even about competing at a high level. It's about what your young players do. It's about looking for the flashes. It's about looking for signs of life. It's about developing. However, I don't know if you're even going to get much of that because I said it earlier and now I'm going to say it again. I did not like the Todd Monken hiring. I did not like it. He was not, I think, anyone's even plan D. Because a lot of coaches, and we saw the stories, during the offseason, especially when the coach carousel was in full swing, nobody wanted to interview at Cleveland. Like, you had coordinators, like the high sought-after ones, were turning down interviews with them because why? You have the idiot owner who protects the idiot GM, and the coach who actually tries to make shit happen will be pushed on the sword. So it's really just got to be Tom Monken. And I think he's a placeholder until they get someone they actually wanted. Unless he proves me wrong, which he could, maybe. Unlikely. But I think for the Browns, we mentioned this earlier, now with the Myles Garrett trade, they're going to be in a complete rebuild.
Yep.
Apparently, some teams have reached out about Denzel Ward. They said they do not want to give up Denzel Ward. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I'm not expecting much. I'm expecting the defense still to be good. But other than that, not expecting too much out of the Browns again this year. Over under, where are my standings?
I don't know where your standings are, Chris.
I lost the standings. There they are.
You lost the standings, guys.
Over under 5 wins, 5.5.
Under. They're probably gonna get around 5.
Yeah, they'll probably just be 5-12 again. Yeah. Where do we have Munkin in our head coach tier grid again?
As far as hot seat goes, I think we had him up there because he wasn't really wanted, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. All right.
So he's already going in like on borrowed time, essentially, is the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving on to the Bengals. Third place, 6-11. Coming off of another year where defense was dick and Joe Burrow couldn't really stay healthy. And yeah, well, that was the end of it. That's really it. They wasted another year. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. That's
shocking. I know.
It's been the story since 2021. But boy, they did some work on the defense, to say the least. Moffett, Boye, and Dexter Lawrence.
Boye Mafe from the Seahawks.
Boye Moffett. I don't know why, but I was reading it. Yeah. Boye Mafe, Dexter Lawrence, Jonathan Allen. Those are the 3 biggest pickups right there. And that's obviously to replace Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, honestly, I liked the pickups. I did. I'll give them all the credit in the world for that. But as it sits right now, it's just kind of iffy, you know?
It all just depends on – it really depends on if they can, like, not play like shit for the first month and a half of the season. And if Joe Burrow can actually stay healthy for a full 17 games.
Yeah, look, I like Joe Burrow. I do. I'm one of the bigger Joe Burrow fans on the podcast, I would say. Outside of like Adam, because Adam's got a Joe Burrow jersey and everything because he's just cool like that. But is it slanderous to say, Chris, that Burrow is getting what I would call a very nasty injury history?
No, he is. I don't think that's defamatory at all.
And you know the rules. Say it with me, kids at home. Your best ability is your availability. And you can put up with an injury-prone defensive lineman, corner, wide receiver, maybe even tackle. But an injury-prone quarterback? No, I'm sorry. That's a recipe for disaster. If you can't count on your field general to stay healthy, for probably the most valuable guy on your team to stay healthy, then I'm sorry. I don't know how much of a place there really is for such a player.
Yeah.
And I think we've reached the point, Chris, where it's very much put up or shut up time for the Bengals. I know that they just poured money into the defense. I know that the offensive line actually isn't as bad as it looks, right? I mean, we can all agree there.
Yeah.
But I need results. I need Joe Burrow to be healthy for at minimum like 13 games. See, notice I'm already not counting on him being there for the season. I need the offensive line to continue to progress in the right direction. We need the excuse me. We need the defense to finally do something beyond just suck. So once again, Bengals, it's put up or shut up time. And I think we agreed, Chris, that their head coach, Zach Taylor, by far, and it's not particularly close, has the hottest seat in the league.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once again, Bengals, and especially Zach Taylor, it literally is put up or shut up time. And I believe if the Bengals do not make the playoffs, then this should be the year where Zach Taylor's luck finally runs out. And honestly, I don't even care if Burrow gets hurt because I know when the Bengals peter out, they're quick to use the injury excuse of, oh, so-and-so was hurt. It's not my fault, says Zach Taylor. I don't care. And I said this when we were doing our coach tier list for Hot Seat. Unless everybody on your offense gets hurt, I mean, I'm talking Burrow and Chase and Higgins, and they all go down with season-ending injuries, then unless that happens, then Taylor has to be held directly responsible for any shortcomings that they may or may not have.
Yep. No, I agree. This is it for Zach Taylor. But the Bengals have also had a history of keeping coaches around longer than they really should. So don't be surprised if Zach Taylor is back for 2027.
I could literally see them like underperforming, and he is back, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or fortunately, if you're a fan of another AFC North team, because then you just get more comedy.
Yeah. Over under 6.5 wins.
Over, I think they might go like 8 and 9.
I think that they could
make the playoffs though. I'll give them that.
I think they can go 10-7.
Yeah, I think everything goes right. We're probably looking at 11 and 6. Like everything goes right.
Yeah, no, I could see them flipping the record for sure. For like everything's good. Joe Burrow has to play more than 13 games.
Big if.
And like defense, they got the capacity to show up. It's like the whole problem really was the defense going to get stops. Like the offense is going to be there to put up points. Fucking shit. I mean, it could be whoever's at quarterback at this rate. Obviously Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco. So the offense is going to put up points regardless of who's out there. So defense has to show up. Baltimore Ravens, 8-9 last season. Big story. Well, no more John Harbaugh.
Finally.
Yeah. New head coach. Remind me the name of the new head coach. I'm blanking already.
Jesse Minter, former Chargers defensive coordinator.
Jesse Minter. So yeah, hopefully this is going to be the start of no more bad pass defense from Baltimore. In terms of additions, well, obviously Trey Hendrickson being the addition, which I can't believe that happened. Like the Bengals, like how do you trade with how do you trade with an in-division rival? How do you let yourself do that?
I wouldn't know.
Seriously. That just feels unfathomable. But yeah, defense, big upgrade with Trey Hendrickson. Another year Lamar and Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry's also creeping a little bit older every single day, which I don't think a lot of people really talk about.
That is how age works, yes.
Yeah. But I mean, he's still putting up the fucking numbers because he's like that. He's age 31 season, 307 carries, fourth in the NFL, 1,600 rushing yards, which was second, and second in rushing touchdowns at 16, and was third in yards per carry. So there just feels like there's no sign of slowing him down. CJ, what say you?
I don't know how to feel about the Ravens because I know we said it about Joe Burrow, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, Lamar Jackson's another player that's starting to develop a pretty lengthy injury history. And I know Tuck disagrees whenever I say it, but I got to slap the injury prone label on him.
I don't know how you don't with Lamar.
Thank you. Like, because Tuck's like, oh, he's not injury prone. Like, yeah, he is.
Then why is
Like,
Tyler
I thought he
Huntley?
beat it because he went 2 years without it, but now he's right back to getting hurt again.
Then why do we know Tyler Huntley's name all so well?
Yeah. Huh?
Like, explain that to me. Like, why is it that I can remember at least 5 games or more that Tyler Huntley played in for the Ravens? Because there was no Lamar. Including and not limited to the fucking Pats-Ravens game on Sunday Night Football this past season.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, Lamar was out for the second half, essentially, or the fourth quarter, whenever it was. He still played in the game and then got hurt. But the point being, we have seen Tyler Huntley for more times than I can count on both of my hands.
Yeah. So much so, they even gave him a Pro Bowl appearance.
Exactly. So to think Lamar doesn't have an injury problem is that's a little redundant. But thoughts on what this team's performance could be, though?
I think they have potential, but honestly, I just, it all depends on if Lamar's healthy. Because, you know, Derrick Henry's getting another year older. You know, Jesse Minter is a good defensive-minded head coach. Hopefully now with Trey Hendrickson, I don't have to hear excuses about their pass rush and why it's selling them out. You know, if Ronnie Stanley can stay healthy, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they still have Mark Andrews, but I'm starting to feel like maybe they should have kept Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, no, you were
maybe.
definitely right about that. That's for sure.
And I think Isaiah Likely should have been tight end 1. I don't know what happened there. I mean, Zay Flowers is a fine wide receiver 1. You know, you got Bateman there too. I like Zay Flowers, but I don't know if he's like the guy.
I don't think he is.
But I still think he's very good. I wouldn't put him top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's not even top 15. I don't know. I mean, I don't.
I'd
Maybe
say he's
like
top
15 or
15.
14.
I'd say he's top 15, but probably like a hard 15.
14 on a good day.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we could probably hash that out later because there are a lot of wide receiver 2s that I would take over him. For example, I don't know who the number 2 is in Denver, but I would rather Sutton or Waddle over him. I would take T. Higgins and Cincy over him. I'm taking Devontae Adams over him. I'm taking George Pickens over him. So like I said, so off the rip, there are a lot of number 2s that are better than him. And as far as other number 2s go, I feel like you could also put them on the same level as guys like Jameson Williams and Jordan Addison.
Yeah. Yep. I can see that.
And like Chris Godwin. Well, I guess Godwin's number 1 now that Evans is out in San Fran.
I mean, I just think like depending on where you put, like in Detroit, he'd be a wide receiver 3. In LA, he'd definitely be a wide receiver 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be my thing. I want to see more strides of the offense because Lamar has a really good arm. And when he uses it, the Ravens win.
Yeah.
So that being said, I think you should do that.
Yeah.
And it's not that I have anything against Lamar's scrambling ability. It keeps him in games and he's really good. But scrambling quarterbacks really don't have that long of a shelf life. Because, when you're getting hit all those times, it just adds up. That's a simple fact.
Yeah.
And I really, really like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So I think Jesse Minter should come in and rejuvenate everything. And for what it's worth, I do think people should be able to stay healthy. I could see the Ravens going a cool 12-5. Everything works out.
So you're going over and a half, 8.5, or over under 8.5 wins.
Over, yeah.
Yeah, because this was one of those that I was like, I don't mind looking at the schedule and like going game by game real quick.
Sure.
At Indianapolis, week 1.
Probably winning.
Yeah, I'd say that's a win. Home against New Orleans.
Win.
I'd say that's a win as well. Home
I could
against.
see that being a really bad trap game, though.
Yeah, I think I'd have to see how this, because I feel like the Saints are going to be better than what they were last year, so I could see that being a tight one. Home against Dallas, 425.
I think that game is going to be a pure shootout, like no defense, all gas, no brakes. And I think Dallas's aerial ability ends up beating Baltimore.
Yeah, I can see that being a loss. 2-1. Tennessee at home.
It should be a win.
3-1. Sunday Night Football in Atlanta. This could be like
Yeah.
a sneaky loss.
Yeah, it could, but Tua and Penix don't exactly wow me. I think this is a game that they're going to struggle in, but I could see them pulling it out. I think.
Oh yeah, I feel like
it's gonna be. But mark my words, that's going to be an ugly win. I'm talking like 17-14, 17-10, like one score, gritty defensive matchup, like just an capital U ugly win.
Well, I'm kind of just thinking like Atlanta beat Buffalo on Sunday Night Football last year. Who's to say they can't do the same to Baltimore? You know, in Atlanta as well. Atlanta. We'll call it 4-1 though. At Cleveland, win. Home against Cincy, win.
All right. Well, let's just get this out of the way right now. I think they lose at least 2 divisional games.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna get there.
But yeah.
So we're at 6-1 at Buffalo. It's not completely cold yet. 1st of November. I'll call this a loss.
Yeah, I'm feeling loss.
Yeah, they don't do well. They haven't done well in Buffalo recently.
No, they really haven't.
Where are we at? 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
Home against Jacksonville, Thursday Night Football.
That could be a sneaky loss.
Maybe not so sneaky. Not if they're wearing the All Blacks. If they're wearing the All, they got.
If they're wearing the All Blacks, they're gonna win. But if they don't, I can see an L here, Chris.
CJ, we're talking. We got back-to-back primetime games for Baltimore. Monday Night Football against the Chargers after the Thursday night game against Jacksonville. They're wearing the All Blacks for these 2 games
in a row. Okay, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say they are. So let's write those in for wins.
No, I feel like they're going to drop one of them.
Though. All right. That's okay. we'll call one of these a loss. All right. So we're at 8-3. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7-3. Carolina on the road. That could be a loss.
That's a sneaky loss. Yeah.
7-4.
You know, I do think there's going to be one game that's probably that they drop that they really don't have any business doing.
Yeah. At Houston.
L.
7-5. Home against Tampa.
Probably a win.
Coming off the bye week.
Yeah, win.
8-5. Pittsburgh on the road. This is the start of 4 straight divisional games to end the season.
You know what? Can we just bump that 5 up to a 7? Because I said they were going to lose 2 divisional games. I don't know which one, but I know it's going to happen.
In that case, we're looking at 10-7 though for Baltimore.
All right, then if that's the case, then yeah, probably 10-7.
No.
12-5 is like everything goes right.
Yeah. Speaking of 10-5, Pittsburgh Steelers, AFC North division winners at 10-7. No more Mike Tomlin. Got back Aaron Rodgers. Brought back, still have DK Metcalf. Rico Dowdle, Jalen Warren are still your running backs, but
Still, they just got Rico Dowdle.
or just got Rico Dowdle and Michael Pittman Jr. being their big ad. Mike McCarthy's the new head coach, and fate has it. I could see this being another 10-7 season. 9-8, 10-7. Because it's Mike McCarthy, it's the Steelers. I feel like the only way, 10-7. That's all I really have for this. Because it's the Steelers, even with it doesn't matter who's that head coach. They've been a 10-7 season. They have been a 10-7, 9-8, 8-9 team.
Well,
for what?
8
The last 8-8. They've been a 500 team for the last 10 years. Probably not. That's probably a little exaggerated, but very exaggerated, but still. It's been the same story over and over and over again. I do love the addition of Michael Pittman, of course, but how much does that really change? Does that change a lot?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I could see 8-9 or 9-8 because I think McCarthy's a good coach, but this is the big Aaron Rodgers last dance. I just think we're going to see more of the same. The Steelers are, if the phrase "nothing ever happens" was a team. Here's how this works, Steelers fans. You beat the teams you should lose to, and you lose to the teams you should beat. All of this culminates in a 10-7 or 9-8 record. You either A, just miss the playoffs by the skin of your teeth, or B, limp into the playoffs where you are mercifully put out of your misery.
Yeah.
I expect nothing more. I expect nothing less, but I do expect you to be second in the division behind the Ravens.
Yeah. I low-key, if all goes right for Cincinnati, I could see Cincinnati winning the division. But anyway.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go somewhere.
I just want to say, as far as the AFC goes, Cincy could very well be the ultimate boomer bust team, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. I kind of want to do the same thing with the Steelers here that we just did with the Ravens, just because it's so fucky. Atlanta, home, week 1. That's a loss.
I could see that, yeah.
Week 1, you always get some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
0-1 at New England week 2.
I feel like they're going to win. I'm not going to lie to you. I could see a win there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why.
Happened last year.
Recently, they've always kind of played up to New England. I don't know why. I wish they wouldn't. But although, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a game where they don't beat New England. New England beats themselves.
Yeah.
And they'll probably have Carol. Wait, hold on. Wait, where is it, though?
It's in New England.
I can kind of see that being an L for. I feel like I could go either way.
Well,
Because this is one of those games where New England could very much kill themselves in. But you know what? Give me a New England victory here.
Yeah. 0-2. Home against Cincy.
Home against Cincy. I think they do just enough to get a dub here. They split with Cincy.
At Cleveland, Thursday Night Football. I could see that being a loss.
Yeah, I could too.
We're at 1-3. Indianapolis, home.
Oh.
Hot
take. I think it's going to be a W. I think they're going to figure out a way to shut down Jonathan Taylor.
I was thinking the same thing. At Tampa.
L.
Yeah. So we're now at 2-4. New Orleans in Paris.
I'm sorry, who was in Paris? New Orleans?
Yeah.
I
can see that being a win.
I can see that being a win, but the Saints are going to be a finicky team this year.
Yeah, I know.
But I got Pittsburgh.
3-4. Home against Cleveland. I gave them the loss. They got to win this one.
Yeah.
So 4-5.
I think they split with Cleveland and Cincy.
Or wait a minute.
Actually, I could see them going 3-3 in the division.
Now I'm getting all fucked up here. 1-3, 1-4, 2-4. Oh, all right. All right, we're okay. We're okay. 3-5. We good. Cincinnati on the road after the bye on Sunday Night Football. I can see that being an L.
Did they beat Cincy the first time? If that's the case, they're going to lose.
We gave them the win against Cincy, so yeah.
All right, yeah, they're going to split.
3-6 at Philadelphia.
L.
3-7. Denver, Black Friday.
Ooh, yeah. Wait, was it in Denver or in Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
Okay. If it was in Denver, I'm calling that an L, but in Pittsburgh, though.
I feel like they've been given like some opportunities on prime time and just have not shown up on prime time though.
Denver?
No, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I could still see Denver winning. I think it's Denver.
So we're looking at 3-8. Home against Houston, Sunday Night Football.
Honest to God, in real life, if they go 3-8, they're going to win out because billions must get to 900. But Houston, nah. Mm-mm.
We're now at 3-9.
Oof.
Monday Night Football in Jacksonville.
I could see that being a sneaky win.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be like spoil the party type of.
Yeah, but all jokes aside, I could literally see them going on a heater to end the year.
We're at 4-9 right now, heading into a 1:00 game in Baltimore.
I think they split with the Ravens, so we'll call it 5-10 right now.
Maybe 5-9, but yeah.
5-9, yeah.
Carolina, this is a flex game, but it's in Carolina.
I can see that being a sneaky win.
Yeah. Because Carolina, it's very, very well been known to be very inconsistent, especially late. So we're at 6-9 at Tennessee.
That's a win.
7-9, Baltimore.
Did they win the first time?
We gave them the L the first time.
All right, so they're gonna win.
8-9.
Yeah, shocker. No, well, like I said, I'm being dead serious. I could literally see them sucking to start the year. They're going on a heater to get their precious at least 8 wins.
Yeah. They could definitely go on a heater starting with that Monday night game against Jacksonville,
But I can see them finally dipping below 500, and I'm sure their fans try to explain it away like, oh, but before this would be 8-8. That makes it okay.
yeah.
Or not.
Yeah. Your pick to win the division?
Baltimore.
I got Cincy.
I understand.
I think this year, I'm going to bet on things going correct for Cincinnati this year.
I actually think it'd be better for Cincy if they implode, because then the team will be forced to fire Zach Taylor, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's called, that's just cutting off your foot to save the rest of your leg there.
Oh, no, I 100% agree with you. Like, it 100% would be much better for that to happen for Cincy, but like, when has that ever happened?
Yeah, fair.
That is our preview of the AFC North. Anything else on your mind before we end the show, since that's all the scheduled content that we have for you today?
Not really, no.
Yeah. Well, that's all the scheduled content. Something to, I guess, keep an eye on. Roger Goodell was summoned by Congress to testify about NFL broadcast deals.
He was summoned, but did he do it yet?
Doesn't seem so. But
All
this
right,
is
I need
kind
a date
of
for that because I actually want to watch that.
In April, the Department of Justice launched an investigation into the NFL's use of the Sports Broadcasting Act, which was written before cable or any type of streaming service existed and therefore does not explicitly address whether the exemption from antitrust law applies to anything other than over-the-air broadcast deals. There was also a year or so ago, there was a New York senator that was looking to pass something called the no ban on sports thing or something like that. It basically
State senator or one of the two national ones?
I'm not sure. I think one of the national ones. I'm
All right. It was either Gillibrand or Schumer. Which name sounds more familiar to you?
It definitely was not those two.
Okay, so it would have to be dude. Come on, you're making us look
I
bad.
don't. I'm bad with names, man. I'm sorry. I was listening to the macrodosing podcast when this guy was on.
All right.
But anyways, it has a lot to do with what Congress and DOJ is doing right now in terms of this. And basically the whole thing goes back to when it first was signed into law in 1961, that basically what they signed into law, they didn't realize would cause massive problems in today's landscape in terms of being able to watch sports. So something to keep an eye on. I'd say, regardless of if you're a football fan or not, baseball fan, basketball fan, hockey fan, for that matter, college football, if you're just a fan of sports, keep an eye on what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is all the scheduled content that we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in to another Tuesday episode of the Fumblerooski podcast. New episode next Tuesday at 8 a.m., where we will cover the top 5 linebackers as well as the AFC South. That'll be a fun one. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we also have all our episodes available on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and so much more. Be sure to follow our Instagram, Fumblerooski_podcast, to keep up with the pod and the latest coverage of the NFL. Otherwise, we'll see you next Tuesday. Over and out.